Open the door, Rita. Open it now, or I'll force it. You know what I'll do if I have to.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone! Are you not tired of this? At the slightest thing, you lash out. Do I look like an animal?
Rita and Theo's story began when they were just teenagers. Back then, love was simple, holding hands after school, sharing snacks, and dreaming of a future together. After secondary school, Theo worked odd jobs while attending classes, striving to support himself and assist Rita financially. He wasn't rich, but he was a man of deep love and quiet sacrifice. He did everything possible to ensure she completed her education, even if it meant skipping meals to pay her school fees. To Rita, Theo was her world, her protector, her provider, her peace. She supported him the best she could, praying for him and encouraging him through his struggles. "Don't worry," she would say. "One day your efforts will pay off. I'll always be by your side to give you peace of mind." With the little profit from her small business, she occasionally helped with food and other needs. Years passed. Theo was still struggling but determined. Rita blossomed into a beautiful young woman and soon began attracting attention. Men who drove fine cars, wore expensive perfumes, and spoke with confidence. They showered her with gifts, phones, handbags, money, but she refused them. She loved Theo. How could she leave her first love, the man who supported her when she had nothing? But slowly, the glitter began to blind her. She started feeling embarrassed whenever they went out together. His worn slippers irritated her. Though Theo still looked decent, he seemed inferior compared to the men now seeking her attention. The simple gestures, small gifts, snacks, walks in the park, began to feel childish next to the luxury dates and grand gestures she was offered. She stopped caring for him as she once did, and Theo noticed the change. He said nothing, only tried harder to win back her affection, but her coldness cut deeper each day. When he finally asked what was wrong, she snapped, "I'm tired of being understanding, Theo. How many years have we been together? You still don't have a stable job. It's always one struggle after another. What about marriage? Do I have to date you for 15 years before you'll be ready? Look at your mates and they're doing well. You're just stuck. Even your gifts look cheap. Don't you see how other men treat their girlfriends?" Theo smiled sadly. "Babe, I'm trying. Please be patient with me. I meant every word I said when we started dating. You're my queen, and I'll do everything to make your life comfortable. I'm sorry I can't give you more right now." She tried to rekindle her love for him, but something inside her had changed. Patience was no longer something she wanted. One evening, she visited him with a cold expression. "Theo, you're a good man, but love doesn't pay bills." And just like that, she walked away, leaving behind the man who once gave up everything for her. She never knew that he had planned to tell her that very night about his promotion. He had just been made the marketing manager of his company. Her new man, Raymond, was everything Theo wasn't: wealthy, confident, and powerful. He made her feel like royalty: lavish dates, designer clothes, luxury trips. Rita believed she was living the dream. But behind that dream was a nightmare she never saw coming. At first it was subtle, a harsh tone, flashes of anger when she disagreed with him. Then came the yelling, the insults. One day, when she tried to speak up for herself, his hand met her cheek. Shock froze her. Then came the tears. "You're nothing, Rita. I met you when you had nothing, struggling with your poor ex-boyfriend. You should be grateful I took you in. I provide everything for you, so give me peace." The next day, he returned with gifts and apologies. "You made me angry, baby. You know I love you. It won't happen again." She believed him, and for a while it seemed true. Months later, they got married. Not long into their marriage, Raymond began keeping late nights, often coming home intoxicated. Rita stayed silent, fearing that questioning him might provoke another outburst. Each time she tried to discuss things calmly, it turned into an argument. The abuse worsened. He controlled everything, her phone, her friends, her movement. Since he provided everything, he claimed she didn't need anyone else. He also forbade her from working, insisting she stay home. Rita learned to submit quietly, just to keep the peace. Months later, she became pregnant. For the first time in a long while, she felt genuine happiness. But the joy didn't last. One night, while she was cooking, Raymond came home earlier than usual, drunk and angry. "Why isn't my food ready? You stay home all day doing nothing, yet you can't make dinner on time?" "I didn't know you'd be home this early," she said softly. "You usually stay out late. If I had known, I'd have finished earlier." Her words only enraged him further. He hit her repeatedly despite her cries. "Don't hit my baby," she screamed. He pushed her to the ground and she passed out. Realizing what he'd done, he rushed her to the hospital, but it was too late. She had lost the baby. Numbness. That was all Rita could feel. She forgave him again and again, but each time it led to more pain. 4 more miscarriages followed. 5 years later, Rita was a shadow of the woman she once was. Her mornings began with tears and ended in silence. Her smiles were for the public. Her pain was private. One evening, at a high-profile charity event, she stood beside Raymond, beautiful yet hollow. Across the hall, she saw a familiar face. Tall, confident, calm. Success radiated from him. "Theo?" she whispered, her heart racing. He smiled gently as he walked towards her. "Rita, it's been a long time." Her eyes glistened with surprise and emotion. They exchanged brief pleasantries while Raymond was busy greeting others. She couldn't risk taking out her phone, so she whispered, "I'll memorize your number. Just say it." He hesitated, then told her. She repeated it in her head until she could never forget. That night, she texted him secretly. Her hands trembled as she poured out years of pain, the abuse, the control, the fear. Theo listened quietly, then said with calm resolve, "You don't have to endure this anymore, Rita. If you're sure of your decision, I'll help you." Within days, the police came knocking on Raymond's door. He tried to fight, bribe, and threaten, but this time, he wasn't facing a helpless man. Theo had become powerful, respected, and well-connected. Theo pressed charges and gave Raymond 2 choices: sign the divorce papers or face court for domestic abuse. Terrified of public disgrace, Raymond signed. Rita was finally free. Theo helped her find a safe place to live and arrange counseling, but nothing more. He was kind, yet distant. He had moved on. Later, Rita learned he was engaged to a woman named Clara, a lawyer and advocate for women's rights. She knew about Rita's ordeal and had even supported Theo in helping her escape. When Theo and Clara got married, Rita attended quietly, sitting at the back. Tears streamed down her face, not from jealousy, but from regret and gratitude. She realized too late that love was never about wealth or luxury. It was about quiet sacrifices, small acts of care, and the man who stood by her when she had nothing.
Now, with her newfound freedom, Rita started over, working, healing, and learning to forgive herself. Though she could never undo the past, she hoped her story would remind others of a timeless truth. Sometimes, the one who has little to give materially gives the most where it truly matters, the heart. To hear more relatable stories, please subscribe. Your thoughts in the comments are greatly appreciated. See you in our next story.